Alright, so today we're gonna go over a couple of things. I know my last AMA was probably about a month ago. I've been really busy lately. I do want to try to do these once a week, but this is pretty much grind time for me and the team right now. We're working really hard to get the Q1 roadmap goals out right now. So as you can see, we have the auctions. We have completed those. They are out on the marketplace. We released the DAO, and we also released the interface for that as well. So right now we have two proposals out right now. There's a core proposal that I made regarding the future of ectoskeletons. So basically, as you know, we started minting ectoskeletons, I believe, December 10th. Originally, we planned the total supply to be 10,000. After minting for about 3 months now, we decided to actually reduce the supply to 2,500. Multiple reasons for this. I know some people like the skeletons, but others might not. We want to create multiple collections later down the line, so I feel like reducing down to 2,500 gives us more of an advantage to create other 2,500 type collections later down the line. Just so we're not saturated with a bunch of supply. I know the ghosts are 10,000. I think ghosts should be one of the biggest supply, and the rest after that become very limited. So if you haven't voted, looks like this one's gonna pass pretty much. So yeah. So going back to the roadmap, let's make sure people can hear me. Okay. Yeah, going back to the roadmap. I know people are expecting the wiki. We have almost finished that. I'm basically collaborating with the community managers to actually get that written out. It's just a lot of stuff that needs to be formatted. Bunch of stuff is changing every day. I know I get this revolutionary idea and I just want to do things right. So the wiki is gonna come soon. By the way, these we didn't really plan on these to be in any particular order, pretty much. So they're sort of in order, but as you know, we've been working really hard on the 3D Ghost. Right now, they're gonna be rendered in cycle static, as mentioned here. So later down the line, we do want to make like a 6-second loop, basically that your ghost floats up and down, similar to the GIF. This actually takes a long time to render something out like that in cycles, since it is 60 frames. So compared to pictures, this is something that's way more harder to do. So that's gonna come later on, the actual video part. And pretty much people don't understand these 3D ghosts. They're made. They would have been probably finished earlier, but they're not just being used as the NFT images. These are also the 3D models that are going to be in the game as well. So I wanted to make sure they came out really good. I know people, when they first saw the textures when they came out, when I sneak peeked them in like early December, people probably had a different idea on the quality of them. Everything's a work in progress though, from start to finish. So if people thought that was the finished product, it's far from it. So later down in this AMA, I will be showcasing in Blender the 3D models and stuff like that, so you can kind of get a behind the scenes look at all the models, how it's set up, and how it's being rendered. I know maybe that's something that people might want to see, because I do work with several 3D artists, but even myself personally have to know how to work with Blender. So I will be rendering the images myself and then generating them all myself. So our 3D model artist just actually finished basically all my complaints on the models that I've seen. So just the little tiny details. I mean, once we have this static image, it's not like I want to go back and do fixes on it. So we're making sure every little detail looks right. The position of it is perfect. everything down to the texture of it is good, every little detail like that. Because once I render all of these and then combine them in the generator, it's going to take a lot of time. So we're at that point. So expect 3D ghosts to be really, really soon. I know I've been leaking a bunch of them, and as you'll see today, they're finished. So I just have to render them out and then generate them. So the generating process, though, once I rendered them out, it's a 10-minute process. I've already developed my own tool that we did use for the ghost. So it just combines multiple images on top and layers and stuff like that. So yeah, so NFT offers and trading. I did finish the contract for this about a week or so ago. So we just really have to just test that just a little bit more and then push that out as well. So I'm going to talk with the community manager, and we're going to set a date on when we want to release that, because I know we're trying to do stuff in a way where we're releasing things in advance so we could kind of hype them up before we release them. So if people don't know NFT offers and trading, on the marketplace you'll be able to offer an NFT for an NFT or multiple NFTs for a certain NFT. So essentially you'll be able to offer 10 skeletons for a ghost, or you'll be able to offer 5 ghosts for a ghost. Additionally, you'll be able to offer B&B for a ghost. People on their page, they'll be able to see all your offers that you have got. So for example, someone wants my alien, they'll come on here, they'll click offer 5 B&B from alien. I can either accept or decline it. Essentially same thing. If they offered NFTs, I can see that as well. So everything is decentralized in a contract, so I don't have control. The only thing that I have control of is as an admin to decline offers. So everything's decentralized in a contract, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so going back to the roadmap, we do have staking as well. I have finished staking. The only reason I haven't released it yet is I kind of want to leave that probably after I release all these other ones. I feel like once people actually see some leaked gameplay from the alpha, I think people, the price will end up getting higher, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but yeah. So I think it's not quite that time for staking yet. I'd rather release staking when the price increases. So it is finished, and once price actually does increase, we'll release staking. The biggest thing about that is we want to do a good emission rate, and it's better if we hold off on staking until we get to a good enough price. So the token rate, we're not depleting the pool as fast. So as you know, if you've been following our social medias and stuff, we have been contacting projects. So a big thing in the past, we haven't really collaborated with, I guess, NFT projects to do giveaways and stuff like that. I never really wanted to do giveaways. I mean, essentially partnering with other projects for a variety of reasons. But now we're actually doing things where we're looking into the future to integrate them somehow into the upcoming MMO. So I'm not really big into doing giveaway collabs, but we are contacting projects to see if they want to get their project integrated into the game. So the first step on that is, basically what we're going to do is essentially where a project, when we collaborate with them, they'll be able to have their NFTs in the game. So basically our first step with that is they'll be able to put their NFT on a shirt. So say if you own, recently we just integrated Moonwalker. So say if you own Moonwalker 555 or whatever, you can go to a shop, you can put that NFT on a shirt, and you can mint that NFT as an item. So essentially these are items in the game. They could essentially be sold in the marketplace as well. So you could basically make as much t-shirts as you want of your NFT and sell it in the game if that's what you wanted to do. So say if you have a rare custom ghost and you want to go to the t-shirt place and you want to make either a hoodie or a t-shirt and you want to put your rare custom ghost on it, someone might like that custom ghost too, but they might not ever afford it. So that's one way that they could essentially um, have that NFT in a small way by rocking a t-shirt of it. So this also just integrates. I know a lot of people play. They're in a lot of other projects, so this is just one way they could rock those other projects while being in the Little Ghost game as well. So that's just the first step. Essentially, we also wanted to make like skins where you could play as something other than a ghost, maybe down the line. So, but obviously that requires way more work. What we're trying to do right now is focus on ourselves. But that doesn't mean I want to leave other projects out. So this is just one way that we could do stuff easier without that much work on our end. So yeah, so the closed alpha MMO, this will be released to the staff team initially. Once I feel like it's at a point, maybe after a week or two, or when the staff team tells me, hey, we might need to get some more people on here before we release beta, we will end up doing some sort of contest or something like that so people can end up getting an alpha as well. So right now, I only plan on doing it for staff team and then a contest at some point to get other people in. So make sure you're involved and stuff, and we'll release the info soon or something like that so you can get involved in that. So I would say we're really on track for Q1. Like I said, I'm just finalizing all these other ones before focusing on getting alpha to the staff team. So I would estimate maybe 2 weeks. That gives me enough time to actually get the alpha to the staff team. So once they do have alpha, I want them to test it thoroughly. We can end up getting other people on it. And then, yeah, from there, I could start planning for the game trailer and stuff like that. So we're also on time for Q2. So been a lot of work recently with Q1. We're setting very ambitious goals. This is going to be a very, very, very long year. It's going to be a long journey, but I wanted to set high goals. I think I can meet almost every single one of these. And yeah, we've been working really hard, so we should see those soon. So yeah, 3D goes. So let me share. Oh no, we'll leave that. Okay, so here we have Blender. Yeah, so as you can see, this is just rendered in Eevee like this. I can obviously click it on cycles though. You have to render an image and it takes like a minute. So I know a lot of people aren't familiar with this program, but just want to showcase some of the ghosts. I know a lot of people are curious on sort of how it works, how we're doing things. Originally back in December, Little Ghost was supposed to be a 2.5D type of game. I never had the thought from the start that it was going to be a 3D game. But just knowing the potential of this has, I never want to fall short of that. So I really want to push above and beyond when it comes to things. For essentially these 3D ghosts, any other project, they probably would have released the Generation 2 and sold that to be minted as well. But if you own any 2D ghost, you will essentially own the 3D ghost. So I'm sure at some point we can run a proposal through the DAO which image of a ghost they want to be in the contract itself, so you can additionally see that, for example, in your MetaMask. So if people want to keep the 2D ghost as the contracts picture, or they want to switch to the 3D, that's going to be up to the community. So, but essentially on the website, by owning the 2D ghost, you can toggle the marketplace and it will additionally show the 3D ghost as well. So you basically have a 2-for-1 for free. So not only do you get the 2D ghost, you're also getting the 3D ghost. So pretty cool. As you see, these are black glasses. We got, those are supposed to be evil eyes underneath. We can sit here and create our own little ghost. The ghost is, this obviously wasn't an easy process. Some of the mouths had to be combined with the body since they are sculpted in 3D, and the mouth is that. For each ghost, we also had to combine it with the mouth. So as you can see, the grill is one. Yeah, so we have all this done. It's just pretty much, like I said, waiting to go. Pretty much any day now. So all the models look really, really clean in my opinion. Even in Eevee, which is supposed to be a lightweight renderer, you can see they look really, really clean. Like, if additionally we were gonna render an image, it would look even cleaner, as I've been showing the past couple of days. So this process is very long. I mean, every single thing had to be recreated in 3D, and a lot of the things weren't as perfect as I wanted them to be in the beginning. But we really had to make sure things were done right, especially considering, just like I said, so much. It's like the potential is limitless. Once the game comes out, I wanted it to be looking really, really, really nice. I mean, hopefully, once we get some more popularity, more developers will flood in. I want to hire at least 2 Unity game developers, probably second or third quarter. So yeah, so bunch of clean, very clean assets. I mean, doesn't get really cleaner than this. I mean, it was very, very good. Yeah, so I know a lot of people were curious on how this whole process goes, but it's definitely a process. Even when it comes to every little thing, you have to really, yeah. Shout out to the 3D model artists. Honestly, I mean, they've been working very hard. We do have a model guy right now named Christian. He's the one that did all the props and stuff. So shout out to him. He does a fantastic job, as you can tell. Especially for a 3D game, textures are pretty much everything. So if they're not done right, things just don't look good, So yeah, so I think I'm gonna answer some questions that were asked, that our community manager got. So, when 3D NFTs and GIF versions. So basically, when we have the animated version of the 3D version, it won't be a GIF. It'll be an MP4. So it'll actually be a video that will be a loop. So the reason for that is you'll get something that's way more high quality than you essentially will get with a GIF. I mean, you won't be able to fit that many frames inside of it. I mean, when it comes to pixel art, obviously making a GIF is way more easier and makes more sense. But when it comes to something like 3D, you want to do it with a video. You don't want to do a GIF. So yeah. Thoughts on old Ecto tokens DAO proposal. So we can go back to here. So this question is asking about this right here. Old Ecto tokens to be implemented into the game in some way. Basically, I read this proposal. Um, what they mean by old Ecto tokens is when we first started our launch for Ectoplasm, LittleGhosts Ectoplasm, we had a bit of an issue with the contract. This was noticed by me within 5 minutes of launch. I paused all selling, and then a couple of days later, I've flawlessly migrated to a new contract, and we launched again. So those old tokens are basically sort of worthless since I pulled out the liquidity for them. The new token got all the same liquidity back. I'm guessing they just want some sort of thing to be remember that in some way, or some sort of Easter egg or something like that. So I don't have no problem with doing something like this. I mean, it comes down to when would someone want something like this, you know? We already have a ton of work we have to do. So I love ideas like this. You know, we just have to think when's the realistic timeline to implement this, you know? So we already have our roadmap kind of already. As far as the closed alpha, I have to worry about boss fights, the dungeon, the play to earn mechanics, the login. So something that I want to mention for the login is usually most play to earn games, they hook your account to your actual address of your account. We're gonna end up be doing things a little different. So basically, how making an account works on our game, on our MMO, is you mint an account. So basically, your account is an NFT. The reasons we want to do this is for several, actually. One, if instead of your account is authenticated with your address, that would limit you to just one account. But if you actually could mint new accounts on your address, you could essentially have multiple accounts in your one address. So I know most people know of MMOs that actually allow you to create multiple characters or players on one account and create different builds and level them up differently. We see that in World of Warcraft, other MMOs as well. So basically what we're trying to do is create that same aspect, but you mint an account now. So you can mint multiple accounts. How you mint an account is you'll just be asked the username. You'll be given that NFT for that account. On our back end, all of your leveling and stuff like that is determined based on your account. So essentially down the line, what also makes this useful, storing accounts and NFTs, you'll be able to sell your accounts on our marketplace. You'll be able to trade for different accounts. Basically, the possibilities are endless pretty much. You'll be able to actually store your account on a hardware wallet. So if someone ever try to they won't ever be able to hack your account. It's sort of similar to the same thing if we did it off an address, but like I said, you can do multiple accounts, and then you can also end up selling your accounts in our marketplace. The reason that I already foreseen this as a possible issue, I know loads of people already know that there's account marketplaces online for different MMOs already, where people are trying to sell their accounts. Platforms, the games usually don't allow this ever, but I feel like if we do everything in-house, we can actually create a tax for it and prevent people from being scammed as well. So I know people are going to do certain things for games anyways, so if we actually just give them the power to already do it in our marketplace and actually where they won't end up getting scammed, I feel like that's the best route to go. So yeah, so accounts are basically NFTs, so pretty cool. What was another question? When Skelly reduction to 2500? So Skelly reduction to 2500, it's gonna pass pretty sure tomorrow. So after it passes, I'm thinking I'm going to set a 1 week um, where minting resumes again. Additionally, we are going to release the Ectoskeleton buffs. So what that means is a day or two after minting is done, or before, I haven't really thought exactly the timeline, we are going to release the buffs. So basically the Ectoskeletons will give you buffs in the game, whether some buffs are 2% magic damage boost, 5% more attack speed, um, etc. So there's different buffs that are going to be given with the skeletons that will give you a buff. So these are essentially going to be hooked inside of the metadata itself. So this is something that will end up changing how rarity, I guess, is scored. Um, some buffs will be more rare than others. So not only are you taking into a fact of how rare the traits are on it, it's combined with which buffs are better. So yeah, so we want to give the skeletons more utility. I think this is something that will really do it. And yeah, so the next question that leaded up to this was when 3D skeletons. Very important question. The 3D skeleton model base is already done. We went ahead and I know we essentially first said that they won't have legs. They will have legs, and their NFT image, you won't be able to see the lower half. They'll be positioned exactly how they are currently right now. But once we move them to the game, they will walk behind you and follow you basically. So they are your little companion. Um, Especially moving them to 2500, it makes it more rare. Not every ghost should have a skeleton, right? I know eventually not everyone will end up having a ghost, so it'll come to a point it's going to be hard to get a ghost, but it's also going to be hard to get a skeleton too. So only 2500, so if people forget, we gave away 1,000 of those already. There's only been about 600 minted right now, so there's about 800 to be minted left. So we're gonna end up using this money for more game development, obviously, and some marketing for launch. So it's gonna be a good boost either way. So that should be good. Let me look at the chat and see if somebody has any questions. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Can you say anything about the play to earn game mechanic? So I've said this multiple times. I know we showcased probably 3 bosses so far. I had an issue with one of the 3D artists that he was supposed to be working on a room. We have about 3 people working on rooms right now. And we're actually getting another person because the dude who was supposed to work on rooms, he couldn't do it how I wanted to, but he's been making the boss models already. So we're actually getting a 4th boss actually done. So we're gonna have Medusa, the Death Fairy, Cerberus, and we're gonna get Minotaur as well. So this is gonna be 4 bosses. You'll fight in a dungeon, killing monsters. At the end of the dungeon, there will be the boss. You kill the boss. You'll earn play to earn rewards, including B&B that will come from a pool. Depending on how much Ecto you own, you will get more B&B compared to someone who doesn't hold as much. But additionally, you'll be able to loot from a chest where you'll get anything from common items in the game to extremely rare items. So this is how people will earn most of their money. I know game value wise for some of these more expensive items, I don't know how they'll be priced in Ecto. That's going to obviously be up to the people, but we're hoping it essentially could be a good amount for even the B&B that you're rewarded to just for completing the dungeon. So I also have to run a simulated version on how long the um, dungeons take, how much how long someone could do them, how much people are gonna essentially be earning per hour. So those are all things that I have to calculate to make sure that nothing's gonna be broken or the pool is gonna be giving out too much money. So every little process has to be thought of. So you'll be earning play to earn money from the dungeon. Additionally, we do want to create mini games, and I know we have that on the roadmap as well. So these mini games, additionally, will have more ways for you to earn money in the game. But at the end of the day, we want to make a good game that rewards people pretty good, but it's also a good social game as well, where people can come and play with their friends. So happy I have a huge goal. Hi Tyler, what motivates you to work so hard? Um, I really believe in stuff I do. I know there's a bunch of stuff that I haven't released yet to the public. I just feel like something that I create, it really has to mean something. I put my face on this. I'm all about Little Ghosts, you know. I know people say they really believe in their project, but if they won't put their face on it, I don't think they truly believe in it, you know. This is something that I truly believe in. I've always wanted to make a game, and now I'm really doing it. So I think what motivates me to work hard is the community and just really truly building something that's going to innovate how people actually see NFTs. Can videos of the ghost be supported on PancakeSwap or will it be static only? So as far as it comes to PancakeSwap, they're probably the hardest in the world to work with. I'm hoping we can at least get statics on there, but I don't know about the video. So that's something that I'm going to have to contact them. I'm in a group chat with them on Telegram. I'll message them again when it comes down to putting the statics on there. I'm sure they could obviously end up supporting videos as well, considering an NFT could be pretty much anything, right? Any sort of an extension. So it doesn't have to be just an image, it could be a video or it could be a GIF as we've seen so far. Week, right? Yeah, after a week, we should end up. We're actually a day or two after. We're gonna release the exact date and the time that minting opens for skeletons, and then that will be it will be released in about a week. Yes. Will there be a way to interact with other people in game, such as UI to trade items or to add them as friends? Of course. When it comes to games, there are a ton of interfaces. I mean, you click on a person, it's their profile. There's additional buttons for you to trade with them. You go to an NPC in game, you open up a shop, you'll see our exact marketplace in the game as well. So the marketplace you see on our website is going to be a similar marketplace directly in the game, considering all the marketplace is on chain. So additionally, at some point, we're going to have to update our current marketplace to support backend for our game data as well, and also integrate certain accounts. So the biggest thing we're trying to do is make a balance of stuff that's on chain and stuff that isn't on chain. The biggest reason for this is, as we know, the BSC, it doesn't take as long, but the biggest thing for a game is it has to run fast. It has to run smooth. It has to be, even if we're running something on chain, the user or the player shouldn't even feel like they're playing a blockchain game, right? We're trying to create a game that it's a game, but it's also a blockchain game. We don't want people to notice essentially it's a blockchain game. So we want it to run as fast as possible. I'm also utilizing other technologies that we will announce soon to actually make this possible. The biggest goal at the end of the day is host mostly everything on chain and have instant time. So BSC right now can't offer that, so we have to come up with a backend solution to take that off our hands. But there's other blockchains and other things that we can actually utilize in the future for handling some of the game mechanics. So because as a lot of people know by now, we are going cross chain. So it's not only we're going to be on the BSC, we'll also be on every layered one Ethereum chain, and we'll also be on another chain as well that I'll announce at a later date. So the biggest thing right now that we are not going cross chain yet is it just has to come down to how you actually log in. So right now I want to at least release the game on BSC so people are not confused. Once CCIP releases for Chainlink, it'll actually make things easier where we can actually go multi-chain and stuff can communicate with each other. So contracts will be able to communicate directly. This is a big thing for the account minter, like I mentioned earlier. So it's just a whole ordeal, but we're staying on BSC first when we launch, and we're gonna branch out very soon after that to the other chains as well. In PvP, will we be able to stake items Ecto want to fight? Oh. Computer's gonna die. So essentially, good question. I know a lot of games that's basically gambling at the end of the day. You're gambling against someone to stake your items or Ecto. On certain games, they don't consider it gambling because essentially their virtual currency does not have real world value. But when it comes to something like our platform, Ecto does have real world value. I'm sure we could do it with the NFTs, but when it comes to Ecto, that will essentially be gambling. So at some point this year, I plan to take things in a direction where we could offer gambling type of services on our platform similar to that, just so we stay in good eyes to the government. We want to make sure we're doing everything here legally. But a lot of things prevent doing that, especially when it comes to regulation. So some point in this year, I want to strive to get our gambling license for LittleGhosts, so we could do similar type of things in the world. But as far as NFT goes, I don't see a problem with that pretty much. Yeah, so definitely something. I know I thought about that with the team, some sort of like gladiator arena where you fight against someone for items, etc. So the first thing we plan on releasing that is really PvP orientated is an open world map. Basically, anywhere on this map, you'll be able to fight monsters, and additionally, anyone that sees you will be able to engage you in combat. So if they end up killing you on this map, anything that you have on your character, you will lose. I've seen that done with a bunch of games. I really like that concept where you kill somebody, whatever they're wearing, they drop it. You're essentially dead. You lose your stuff. So that's our first biggest goal this year, is to create a PvP map, open world map, where people can go there and fight each other pretty much. So it's gonna be pretty big too. So we don't want to just do like some little small island. We want to create a decent sized map. So I'm sure when quarter two starts, I'll also have the 3D modelers working on something like that as well. So I know PvP is a big thing for a lot of people when it comes to games, so we're trying to take steps and steps at a time. First release basically player versus monster, and then release PvP. So it's coming in stages. If more revenue ends up flowing into the LittleGhosts ecosystem, we're just going to end up hiring more and more people, and things will eventually just get fast tracked. So but as of right now, we're doing things at a pace that I know we can actually do it with the resources and the team we currently have. So yeah, so everything's just a work in progress. I know when people play the game, they're gonna have their opinions. They're gonna offer solutions. That's why I really made the DAO, so people can actually, once they really play the game, they can actually offer advice to the mechanics of the game, gameplay like that, and people can actually pass it or not pass it. I know at a certain point, proposals will really be hammered down on, where people are really trying to vote yes or vote no with more thought, because it's going to end up being proposed things that could change essentially how the game works. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, I think at this point we'll do some giveaways, and then I'll answer any more questions that people have. So yeah, so a lot of things are work in progress. I've really been working hard every single day. I know there's been a point in time in January where people probably thought we weren't working. It was quite actually the opposite. I was working too much. I couldn't keep track with the community. But now we have two community managers now. Things are really backtracked, and things are honestly going better than ever. Um, so yeah, very excited for the future, pretty much. Okay, so we had an impression contest for we had an impression contest for Twitter. So community managers got back to me, and here are the tallies for that. So Meme came in with 7,351. Serial came in with 2,712. ProPie came in with 2,061. Oz came in with 1,832. And Bunny came with 796. So those were the top five. So we had prizes for the first three. So in first place, we have Meme. You will earn 200 million Ecto plus one Little Ghost plus one Ectoskeleton. Second place, Serial. You'll win 100 million Ecto plus one Little Ghost. And in third place, we have ProPie. You will earn 50 million Ecto plus one Ectoskeleton. So shout out to you guys. Message Benny Maru on Telegram or Discord, and he'll give you your prize. Okay. Yeah, so those are a lot of impressions. We just want to keep doing more giveaways like that. Um, yeah, so just keep spreading the word. I appreciate everyone doing that. I mean, okay, so yeah, so those were the winners of the giveaway. If anyone has any more questions, I'll answer them now. I know some people probably have more in-depth questions. And show more renders. Okay, we can go back to that screen. Yeah, so these have been really a fun journey making these. Just the whole design process of everything is just crazy, pretty much. So there you have it. Anyone who was trying to see the invisible ghost, there it is. Nah, that's not it. Okay. So let's show some more ghosts. I mean, the Shibas just and the Doge just came out really, really good. I mean, just very, very, very good. I mean, I don't know how to. And I know. Yeah, so I know girly eyes probably weren't the most favored. I don't think the girly eyes were the most favored. Um, I think they look good now. I mean, I don't know any girl who wouldn't want pink eyes and maybe eyelashes. I think that's the best way we probably could have accommodated them. Um, I know on when things are in 2D, they probably won't look as good as they could have been in 3D. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all up to interpretation on what you think looks good, you know. So same with the stone eyes. I mean, those are just really good. You have the look right eyes. The biggest thing when you're doing things in 3D is up to interpretation, you know. So we have things like uninterested eyes. So we made several versions of those. Oh, probably don't have the texture in. Okay, I'll circle back to those. Yeah, the anime eyes. They look really good. I mean, I think we had a job and we did it right. So everything is very good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up saving some renders for the actual reveal when we end up dropping them. I know there's some people want to see. I think it's best to leave it up to a surprise. Yeah, but I'll answer more questions and then we could probably end it there. Oh, pumpkin bag. Yeah, I can show you that real quick. Yeah, so pumpkin bags, I mean, I mean, they look really good as well. I know some people have like a cigarette and a knife, so not only will you'll see both of them now. I know before there'd be certain things in your hand that you couldn't see before. If you had a cigarette in your hand and you had, let's say, the knife or the money, you wouldn't be able to see it. Now you will, so that should be good. Yeah, most of these exceeded my expectations, and I know when they're rendered, what you're seeing right here, they're gonna end up looking 100 times better. Like I said before, seeing it in EV and seeing it in cycles are two completely different things. Cycles basically it makes it so the light bounces off and you can really see it how it would at its pretty much at its true potential, but it's pretty much it's hard on the computer, you know. As you can see, it lags right here. So seeing it in EV, you can control it better. So yep. See if anyone has any. Oh, since customs will have a weapon like aliens with ray gun, what if the alien has a knife too? It'll be in both hands. Yes, so that's something I'm striving for. I mentioned earlier that customs will have a weapon, basically because they will have a special attack. Um, yeah, so right now when we release the renders, the customs will come after. We have completed the customs in the past, but like I said, I think they need to probably be revamped. I didn't like the way they originally were done, and I don't want to fall short. So basically, things have to be redone. So customs are gonna follow shortly after. Things like Earth are already done. Aliens, I mean, we make the body once with the eyes, and we have all the props already for all of those. Same with the vampires. So the biggest ones are going to be the 101s, and I estimate probably a week or two after the rendered ones come out, we'll release the customs as well. So um, we're really trying to. I know I released like Beetlejuice, but that one's also getting redone entirely. Um, those were all done at a point, but they need to be redone, especially the textures. I mean, after seeing the quality of these and then looking back at the customs that I did have, they just need to be redone. So everything's gonna be made to how it's supposed to be. Yeah, so I think pretty much I want to wait and release it. Wait to sneak peek the rest. So, but yeah, so just a little recap to end this off there. I want to just say a couple of things. Okay, so back to the roadmap. So expect wiki, expect trading, expect staking, expect this. This is basically done, and this will be done soon as well. So the only thing we won't have checked off is alpha, but once I do release alpha, like I said, maybe in 2 weeks. I know a couple months back I always had estimates when alpha was gonna be. Like I said at the start, I didn't even know this was gonna be a 3D game. I had to scrap all the work that I did on the previous, what I was trying to make for the previous thing. I had to scrap that work and basically start from pretty much scratch again. So, um, I think I have a better